We're going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got some nice.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're out there on YouTube, and also rate that show 5 stars everywhere that you get your podcast. Just search for it by searching for Unbearable Sports. What is good, Bears fans? We are celebrating a Chicago Bears victory over the New Orleans Saints, and I already see chat right now. For those that are subscribed, y'all are letting me hear it. I love it. I love it. So for those that don't know, I picked the Saints, and I said, hey, you know what? If they win, we're going to be celebrating. If they lose, if the Bears win, let me have it, chat. So let me have it. But man, you guys were right. You guys had a lot of the blowouts out there, all the blowout picks, and the Bears did that. And I want to just to start things off, 26-14, the Chicago Bears win over the New Orleans Saints. This is right afterwards. 4 in a row. This is feeling really, really good. And I said this when I made my picks, that this felt like a trap game. This was even, I saw other shows kind of still use the term trap game when going into this, because you had this. And I don't want to put this away. Like, this is where it's hats off to this Bears, where the old Bears, they lose this game. Like we were joking on the show. I've been so burned by this Bears team that it's like, man, this is the game that the Bears lose, going against a 1-5 New Orleans Saints team that, I did say, they've been competitive with a lot of different teams. And the Bears go out there and just absolutely steamroll them 26-14. It should have been a lot worse just with the way the Bears are playing, and we'll talk about the penalties. But I really just hats off, because you came after a short week going against a team with the Washington Commanders that this was like their mini Super Bowl. This was the team that they wanted to beat. And then you got the Saints. And then next week you have Lamar Jackson, right? So this is just the team that just sits in between, and you don't have to think about them that much. And they're just the Saints. And the Bears still came focused and played well. Played very, very well. I love it. I absolutely love it. So this was a great feeling, a great win for the Chicago Bears. So let me know what y'all are feeling out there. I have, so currently we're rating this game. It looks a little split right now. B is so far winning the grades, but let's see who's all out there. I see Drax. What is good? Drax posted, I find your lack of faith disturbing. Love it. Love it. Love it. And yeah, first time Bears have won 4 in a row since 2018. Love it. Yeah, Longhorn up. Love it. Love it. Let's see what else we got. Taco Man Bear down. Boo for choosing the Saints. Amen. Hey, you can boo me for that. What's good? We got T-Dub out there. Bear down for sure. 222 rushing yards. Gotta love that. But man, this feels great. Make sure to hit that like button. We got our Dookie out there, defense and run game. I was actually going to name the title of this old school Bears win, because this was defense, running game. We got Squeegee out there, FGB's in the chat. It's a good day. It's going to be a good week this week. I feel it. So let's talk a little bit more about these stats out there, because when we break this down, when we look at it, right, we talk about the Bears, Bears with the victory, 26-14. But when we look at the stats overall, what we're seeing is that our Chicago Bears, let me just find this, 222 rushing yards and the Bears had, and then the defense only allowing 44 yards and 2.6 yards a rush. Then we look at the passing offenses. Overall, Bears 164 passing yards to the Saints 209. And I got to say this, something that I was concerned about going into this is are the Bears going to regress, take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit? But first off, this defense was flying around there, because that was one of the things, is that the defense was creating turnovers, and turnovers can mask a lot. Now they continue to force some turnovers, but I also want to kind of move over to the special teams real quick, where the Bears did force 3 punts. That's better than the forcing of the 1 punt. And then obviously, only allowing 14 points, pretty darn good. I think that the defense played well. I thought too, you saw consistent pressure because they were running blitzes. And that I feel you need to just keep on doing with this defense, because now that you have Kyler Gordon back and Jaquan Brisker, you're talking about these like I was watching it with the game with my brothers, and we're like, how does it feel that our best defensive ends are our slot corner and our safety? Brisker coming off the edge and Kyler Gordon coming off the edge. Now, it was phenomenal. Now, I do want to just, I don't, like I've said before, I don't like talking about penalties, but penalties, yet again, big piece in this game. A lot of bad calls, like the Colson Loveland one, and then also, I get like the hand to the helmet as roughing the passer. But to me, this is like, it reminds me of like basketball, when if someone goes up for a shot and you block it, you block, and if it continues and it's a foul, you block them, right? They had the hand up, they swatted the ball, and then it just continued down to the helmet. To me, that should have been a no call. There was also a handful of others, just not good officiating. But yet again, right, on the box score, 10 penalties. That is what was killing the Bears. And the fact that, like, yet again, the Bears should have been up by significantly more. And it's just little mistakes. The two or three botched snaps out there, at 2, and then the false start. It was just, even though the Bears won by double digits, there could have been more. And I think that's the thing. That's the vibe that we're getting out of the Bears. The Lions game, the Cowboys game, it should have been the higher. The Bears should have had more. The Raiders game should have had more against them. Commanders should have been more. Saints should have been more. And Vikings should have been a win, right? And I think that's the moral of this Bears team right now, where I feel very optimistic, because there's been these things that should be fixable that just still aren't fixed yet. So that is, to me, yeah, exactly. Well, exactly what Taco Man said. It is gross, but man, exactly. The winning attitude that Drax is kind of calling out, that's the piece, is that just digging it out, playing well, playing hard. And that's the big piece. We said this after the first 4 weeks of the season, where I brought up, I was saying, hey, the only consistent person that you really had on this team was, crazy enough to say, Caleb Williams was the offense. Caleb Williams was the person that they were leaning on, that they were relying on. And I remember saying on this show, what happens when Caleb doesn't get it going? And Caleb hasn't gotten it going for the past 2 games. I obviously have not watched the tape yet, but I feel like this might have been his worst game. It felt that way. It felt like worst game of the season. Last week was his worst game. I think that this game might have been even worse than that. But still, you had the run game step up, which was huge. So because you had the run game step up with all that, it masked a lot. So I'm glad that the team then was able to rally around. So it's not just all on Caleb, right? And that's something that you love to see. Defense stepping up, the run game stepping up, and us as Bears fans, we like that more anyway. I'd rather run the ball down their throats and have defense win the games more than anything else. So that is my feeling. But let's talk a little bit more about this team, because yet again, penalties were poor, and I just kind of took a little bit of notes that we saw with it too, because let me just pull this up on my phone 1 second. Because yeah, like the bad first drive was, the first drive, they go out there and it was just classic, the way that this offense kind of has been. You had one, a good run, and then after that, you had a bad play, and then after that, you had a penalty that pushed it back 5 yards. So Theo Benedette with a couple of penalties, but really, it's just, that's kind of how it was. Then second drive, they forced the fumble. Then 2 botched snaps in a row. 2 botched snaps end up just relying in a field goal. And then third drive, they had the deep rub pass, and then Loveland ends up getting flagged, which was BS, but still. And then that ends up derailing the drive. And then a false start on 3rd and 1 in the red zone that we saw. And then just constant things. And they were still able to continue that drive. But it's just little plays like that just start to eat away at you. And then not to mention the other defensive plays that just, those little mishaps, those little mistakes. Yet again, clean that stuff up. This could be a really, really good team. And I think that's the feeling of that we have, that this could be a really, really good team. So yeah, and I agree with what Drax says out there. In Ben and Dennis we trust. I love it. That's just the feeling of it, where defensive coordinator has been good, has been making adjustments and changing with the team. But then also just the offense, when watching the tape, man, it just looks good. It just looks really, really, really good. So yeah, and yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. So let's actually flip over to the offense and dive deeper into this offense overall and break down the offense. So first off, let's kind of make this little flip and we'll go over to the offense where Caleb Williams, like we talked about, 15 of 26 for 172 yards and 1 interception, sacked 1 time, QBR of 19.7. So not a good performance. Like we said, Caleb, not a great performance. The advanced metrics so far, negative 8.6% completion over expected. Caleb still is the last in the league with his completion percentage over expected at a whopping negative 9.7%. So what is that? And then the next worst is negative 6.9%. So what does that mean? Does it mean Caleb is absolute trash? No. It just, Caleb has been very, very, very inaccurate. Like, very inaccurate. And the thing, too, that I'm just kind of like, whenever this happens, I feel like we're all this way. Isn't Caleb supposed to have this amazing arm that he can throw he can be like Rodgers, where when he's going out of the pocket, he can just kind of flick the ball and it goes straight to the player? I have never seen that, right? Like when he breaks out of the pocket and he flicks his wrist, it only comes on in contact when he has to throw 60 yards one way. But when it's just the basics, hey, Rome's, we saw this today where going out to the outside, Rome is open, Rome's right there, and he flicks it and it's just completely out of bounds or completely at the feet and it's just not there. And it's stuff like that where I get that you're rolling out, but that's plays that quarterbacks make. And it does boil down to that. Caleb, like I said, Caleb has had 2 bad games in a row, in my opinion. I didn't think that he was good last week. Yet again, not awful. But still, do I think that now this is the beginning of the end? No. Right? People can have bad games, especially quarterbacks can have bad weeks. I'm just really happy that the rushing game was able to pick up for Caleb. But still, Caleb's got to do better just overall. So, yeah, really in the accuracy department. And also, I know that it was right after the game last time. Just in case if you're curious, last week, Caleb also had a minus 8.5% completion percentage over expected. So, and also, too, this week, 3.74 seconds for average time to throw. So, he had a lot of time in the pocket, just did not work out. Just really, really, really did not work out. So, yeah, I like that. Someone said Caleb seems over-caffeinated. That's how it feels. Also, bear down to you too, Mac. Hope you're doing well. We got TJ saying, I think the Bears are a good team, but they're even better on the defensive side of the ball. I love it. I love it. And, yeah, and the squeegee too. Yeah, the snap issue at the beginning was not good. Yeah, that I feel like there's going to be some memes about that with his painting of the fingernails and him just going like this and get his fingers jammed. We'll have to see. But I do think that today Caleb did put the ball into just some risky situations. So enough harping on Caleb. I wanted to get that. Actually, let's talk a little bit about the receivers and then we'll kind of break down some of the rushing. DJ still hasn't been amazing, but still has made some good plays. And I just thought it was weird that normally we're so used to him being shifty. He decided I'm just going to plow people over this today. It just was a different look. Rome ended up kind of doing some of those drops when he gets some contact, just not holding onto the ball. He had 2 of those today. Then Colston Loveland saw a lot more targets. PFF has an initial grade on him of 76.8, so pretty darn good. But yeah, Colston looked good. He looked solid out there. And with Cole Kmet going down, we saw a little bit more Colston Loveland action, which to me, I like it. I like it. So give him some more snaps. He looks very comfortable out there as a receiver. But besides that, yet again, passing offense really wasn't cooking too much. So not much to talk about with that. But next, we're going to break down the rushing where, yet again, rushing attack looked great. The rushing attack just absolutely looking phenomenal. Kyle Manun guy, player of the game, just shot it up. 13 carries, 81 yards, 6.2 yards a carry. but also DeAndre Swift having another crazy good game. 19 carries for 124 yards, 6.5 yards a carry. And man, then, advanced metrics. I love these advanced metrics. Kyle Monangai today, 1.77 rushing yards over expectation per carry. And then Swift, 1.58 rushing yards over expected. And last week, DeAndre Swift, like I said, I didn't have these metrics then, 1.66 last week. What we're seeing is this team very decisive. I want to actually see like their efficiency ratings. The blocking is looking significantly better, but also too, it feels like the confidence with these running backs too, just the way that Swift is running, like Swift is running great and he's breaking tackles and he's just feels confident. Like with the other stuff, he just gets so nervous. And obviously with the blocking too, that's where the thing is like when Swift has the holes and everything, he becomes really, really good. But when that stuff isn't there, he doesn't necessarily develop or create too much because he gets tackled backwards. But man, Swift was looking really good. Monangai was running really well out there too. It was just fun. Then you see Roschon Johnson picking up the third down. I wish that they did that more because, man, he just looks like he wants it so bad. So I really, really, really like that. So it was great. It's fun to watch the running game work. And I want to rewatch it a little bit, but the thing that like you see, and I think they kind of called it out a little bit, and I mentioned this during the preview, that when I watched the tape last week, the thing that stands out with Drew Dahlman is he just can wall off an entire side. He's not the biggest guy, but it's just when he gets his hands on you and he just turns. And he just turns and he creates this perfect lane where it's like, all right, you want to go right here. Like right here, man. And it's, yeah, like people want to do that, but Dahlman just does it so freaking well. And that's why PFF has had him as like the best run blocking offensive lineman for so long. It's just, he's so good at that. And he just builds that lane. And what we saw today was we saw Dahlman look great. And then Tooney has been fantastic. Wright's been fantastic. And also, Jonah Jackson looked pretty darn good on first watch. PFF giving him an initial 75.9 grade. Dahlman with the 77.8. But yeah, it's just you're seeing them click. Benedict, I still like not great, but as long as he's in the right spot and the running game's looking like this, I don't care. Right? I'd rather just win it consistently with just running the football than anything else. I just thought that it's been good. So let's go. Let's go with that. But let's see. Yeah, J2K saying Benedict had a rough game. Yeah. That's the thing. I think like the passing, I want to see how much he was getting hit because just at first glance, Chase Young had a win percentage of 29.4% pass rush win rate on initial glance. So almost 30% win rate, and it felt like all of his reps were kind of on Theo. So I think that Theo probably didn't have a good one. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And then did PFF still grade Justin over Caleb? I see. Yeah, some Justin hate. I saw someone posted out there on Twitter that like they didn't like yet again. I know like last week Justin had a higher grade than Caleb. I don't think that it's overall better than Caleb. It shouldn't be. That would be crazy. But yeah, if it's just 1 week, it's just 1 week, in my opinion. But yeah, so let's kind of continue going on though. Like I said, this is a pretty darn good offensive performance. Could have been better though. It's just those little pieces. But let's kind of flip over to this defense, shall we? So this defense, let's kind of talk about some of the basic stats out here. Tremaine Edmonds, 9 tackles, 1 sack, pass defense, tackle for loss, and an interception. Kevin Byard also with an interception. Not as many tackles, only 2 tackles. Love to see that. And Nashawn Wright with an interception as well. But also hats off to Nashawn Wright. Initial grade so far of over 90 at 91.5. Also allowed 2 catches on 6 targets and 1 PBU and an interception. So pretty good game for Nashawn Wright. ESPN has him charted as 2 passes defensed. But Nashawn Wright had a good game. Yet again, has not been that great. He stepped up today. Great game for him. TJ Edwards, 7 tackles. 7 total tackles, 2 passes defensed, and 1 that kind of got deflected into that interception into Tremaine Edmonds' arms. And then that diving pass defense. He has an initial grade of 89.7 right now. Jervon with an 86 initial grade. And I want to just call that out too, because Jervon, I've said this before, in the run defense grade in the run defense department has not been great. But man, you saw Jervon constantly in the backfield. I don't think he got a sack today. And yeah, 1 tackle today. So you might be like, oh yeah, he didn't do anything. He just felt like he was living in the backfield and really kind of getting back there. Had an initial 17.4% pass rush win grade. Gotta love that. Sweat with a 12.5%. Domrob with 9.5%. Billings with 7.1%. And Dayo Adengbo at a whopping 3%. So I just had to throw that out there with the Dayo grade, with the Dayo percentage. But man, they played well. Like, just the defense played well. And I think when you see this, you see what happens with the addition of a healthy TJ Edwards. When he came back week 2 against the Lions, you could tell he wasn't the same guy. But man, Edwards has been great. And you add in Edwards, you add in Gordon, this defense just plays different because Kyler plays different. And TJ Edwards is just such a good linebacker. He can play in coverage. He can play the run. And you're seeing that. And this team, yet again, not a fantastic running team by any stretch. Like, they're not what we faced last week with the Commanders. It's just great when you see them duplicate what they did last week. It gave them 2.6 yards a carry. When we saw that before that, they were averaging just around 4 yards a carry. And the fact that they were able to do that, great stuff for the Bears. Absolutely love it. Great performance by this defense. So love it. Absolutely love it. And also too, I saw my boy Shamar Turner at defensive end. Love to see that too. Yet again, I think that is his better position. I love that they're at least keeping him out there because he looks significantly better out there. You have a larger person playing there. Now, we did miss Rattler on a little read option, but I'll let that slide. I'll let that slide. I think that overall, though, yet again, if you want to stop the run, put in Shamar Turner. And I think then eventually he can shed some weight and he can kind of get quicker. And I think that's exactly what Dennis Allen wants at a defensive end. So to me, love it. I really, really liked how this defense played. They're flying out there. They seemed like the defense that we heard about in the preseason, in training camp, and other things like that. So, man, it's good. It's good. But let's go through some of the comments as we fly through this. Let me see. Duo blocks. We got some of that stuff. And let me kind of keep going on. Yeah. What else do we have? TJ wanted and picked so bad. Yeah. And let's see what we got. That fumble recovery last week boosted Nashawn's confidence. Yeah. Nashawn did play very, very well. And then, yeah, I do agree too. Domrob is playing a lot better. He really is. It's just taken 4 years, but yeah, he is playing really great. And I think that we all wanted Booker to come back because the Tano Passanio was then he was released. So I know someone like myself, I'm like, all right, we're going to, get Austin Booker back. But yeah, Booker's still not back. So probably next week, hopefully we'll be able to get him back because yet again, I just think that, one extra player, but man, they're just playing great right now. But then let's see, Broski, what's good, my friend? Saying Caleb looked like trash again. Yeah, I did say it was his worst game so far. Definitely worst so far, but yeah. He was missing a lot of throws out there, but man, it's just great to see this offense clicking, clicking on the ground for sure. But man, yeah, the passing game, there's a lot of stuff that Caleb's got to get down with it right now. But let's kind of flip over to, because speaking of people that came back, we got to talk about one person in particular. We joked about this, but man, little did we know that the greatest special teams player of all time, not Devin Hester, that's right, Travis Homer. Travis Homer, the greatest special teams player of all time, supposedly. The special teams played well. Like, it's the joke of like, oh yeah, what's going to happen when Travis Homer comes back? And then he comes back and they did well. We got our first ever fair catches today. And kick returns, yeah, they only got 23 yards of kick return. So that was good. That was good. Yeah, all because of Travis Homer, man. The greatest special teamer alive. But in all seriousness, they looked a lot better. And they were going against a no-joke special teams unit with Kendre Miller, Devin Neal. Like, these are some good returners. And yeah, Tipton, like, there's some good returners out there, and they stopped them. And just hats off. And also, too, yeah, they never got a punt return off. They were able to get down there successfully. It was a very good performance by the Bears on special teams. Torrey Taylor, 3 punts, 2 in the 20. Love it. And also, too, you have Jake Moody, 4 for 4 at Soldier Field. Now, his longest was 39 yards. That goes back to kind of the offensive woes, where it's great that you got your kicker into field goal range, but I'd rather get him in extra point range if you catch my drift. That's something that this offense needs to get better overall. Just the sloppiness, the little tiny mistakes are costing them 6. This game should have, we've only surpassed 30 points once this year. I want more. I'm going to be greedy. I want more. I know that we've gone over 21 or more points and we're the only team to do that this year. I want more. Because this offense should be getting more. That's the power of Ben Johnson, man. That's the power. But yeah, the other thing that I just want to call out, I thought it was interesting that Blackwell was actually the other kick returner alongside Devin Duvernay on a couple of the kick returns. Just was interesting to see because normally we have Luther Burden back there. But yet again, I want to see more Burden, more so on the offense now, just because Duvernay's been a good kick returner and punt returner. Still want Burden to be the other kick returner. I just thought it was interesting that that Blackwell was out there. So now it is time for everyone's favorite session, Most Valuable Bear. Ladies and gentlemen, who should be the most valuable Bear? Let me know down in the comments. And I'm going to see, let's first off just go through the grades that y'all have to say. So grades right now, 8% saying A+, 21% grading this an A, 62% grading this a B, and 8% giving this a C. So, yeah, I feel, so obviously everyone's kind of feeling this as a B. And yeah, I think that like, I give it a lot to the coaches. And I know that Dennis Allen got the game ball. And also too, I don't know about you guys, those good, better, best videos just make my day. Like after the Monday night victory, I refused to go to bed even though I had work the next morning until I saw that video. Then I could go to bed. It was like at midnight and I'm like, okay, now we can sleep. Now I could finally sleep. But yeah, I'm not going to give it to the coaching staff because I want to just say like honorable mention because like I said, getting people's heads on right, getting them focused, getting them to play this game, that's big. And it's human nature to be coming off of something that you were focused for 2 weeks on the Commanders as the next win that you had to get, you got it. And then they were able to turn back and do well. So let's talk about some of the candidates, though, for Most Valuable Bear, because this is a little difficult. So if we go on the defensive side, Tremaine Edmonds had a good game, 9 tackles, a sack, and also, like we said, the interception. TJ Edwards played very, very well, 7 tackles. But like unfortunately, the stat line isn't worthy enough, I'd say. Bears also, I can't believe I didn't say this, the 4 sacks, with Edmonds and Brisker and Sweat and Gordon. That was great. And honestly, Brisker might even get it. Brisker was flying. Brisker was going crazy out there, making hits, getting up there. And actually, I just looked at J2K. Yeah, Brisker to me was someone that just was flying. And then 2, you could even say Byard. Byard was flying out back there. Should have 2 interceptions. Nahshon Wright had a very, very good game as well. The defense. I'm feeling like it needs to be someone on the defense because the defense just played so great. DeAndre Swift honestly deserves it again. like Swift played great. Swift played phenomenally. Monangai, that would be the most biased, like to give it to Monangai over Swift. Monangai had a phenomenal game, but when you look at everyone else on the offense, it's tough to give it to an offensive lineman. I thought that Dahlman, just on first glance, had a very, very good game today. But it's very bold to give it to someone after not watching the tape and say like, yeah, this offensive lineman. Then what do you know? I watch it. I'm like, hey man, he let up like 3 pressures. But yeah, I don't want to give it back to Swift. If someone in the comments says Swift, I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get that. But let's go defense. We got to go defense, and especially since DA got it. Let's see what y'all have to say. Because yeah, I see some Dennis Allen's. Yeah, the defense, dude. Dennis Allen did. But let's see. Hightower can stay an extra week. At DA, let's see. Offensive line, that's a good one, Jonathan. Got Jake Moody. Yeah, I'd say yeah. But yet again, short stuff. But yeah, Moody could also be out there too. Let's see. Swift, Tremaine. Oh man. I don't want to give it to Swift gets the honorable. I think Swift gets the honorable mention. We always do kind of like 2 separate little ones. Sweat had a good game. Yeah, that's right. He did 2 TFLs, a sack. Yeah, forced fumble too, right? Yeah, I don't have that on the. Yeah, he's the one that also forced that fumble. Kind of got things started. Yeah, I'm seeing some Sweats out there. We'll give it to Sweat. I think that like it. Sweat. And I'll say honorable mention to Brisker, just because I love Brisker. Yes, he's just such a dog. Yeah, Troy Aikman. Dude, Troy Aikman was probably watching this game going like, dude, they're just getting so lucky. Gripping his fist. Like, man, just Troy freaking Aikman. Some of these announcers, man, they need a new group of announcers out there. Like, or new round of announcers, just batch some of them up. Like, yeah, Troy Aikman was bad. And then the other people that we got before Troy Aikman, like during the Raider game, those guys were awful. Like just not in like a biased way, but just in like a, they don't know what they're doing sort of way. But yeah, we'll give it to Swift because yeah, I like how Squeegee put it. He got the party started. We'll give it to him. But yeah. And then, yeah, we got some Billings out there. Yeah, Billings is just so much fun to watch. But yeah, all this without Grady Jarrett. One of the leaders on the defense, he's not out there, and just great stuff, man. This team is winning, but next week we're going against the Ravens, and Ravens are going to be getting back Lamar Jackson, or everything is pointing to Lamar Jackson being back, but don't worry, we'll have you covered here on the Unbearable Sports Podcast, so make sure to like and subscribe, and download the podcast too. You can listen to it on the go, you can listen to it at work, you can listen to it when you're on the way to the office, if your office forces you to go back into the office. So you can listen to it. It'll make life a little bit better. So with that, have a fantastic week. I'll talk to y'all on Wednesday at 7:30 Central Time. And with that, Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair and you know that she's a